All right, so we'll just start the meeting. I appreciate you guys for being on the call. Today I facilitate the meeting. Normally Andy facilitated the meeting. Today I definitely want to talk a little bit about the opportunity and what it means for me and what it means for you guys ultimately. And also I'm going to have a guest speaker, Peter Ewing, my good friend and also our business partner, share his stories and why he decided to um, I guess look at this opportunity seriously because he's very experienced and have a ton of great positions and things like that. And went with some promotions, to people doing the right thing out there in the field. We have Steven speak, and I recognize a few people that's kicking butt, right? And that'll be the end of our call. Cool.
Hell yeah, promotions. Woo.
All right. Okay. So first off, I definitely want to bring up Peter. Like I said, I know Peter for, man, it's over 15 years now, Peter.
Yeah, sounds about right.
15 years, of pretty much just about 4 or 5 campaigns we've done together. So I definitely want you to share with the team, what you've done, why you joined sales in the first place, and why there's opportunity. I know you have a whole bunch of options. I know you're one of those talented cats that no matter what you do, you'll be successful. So I just want you to, let the team know why you're here, and I think this opportunity is good for you.
All right, absolutely. So check it out, guys. First of all, good morning. Second thing is, I think through this pandemic, a lot of things has been reviewed to all of us in terms of taking advantage of the opportunity that we have. I think it's one of the 7 habits that we have at CMC is be able to understand the opportunity and really take heed of it. What I mean by that is people always ask me back in the days like, okay, so you've done through corporate America, you've done sales. Why do you choose sales? What's wrong with corporate America? What's wrong with sales? And the short answer to that is there's nothing wrong with one or the other. It's just a matter of what you prefer and how you choose to choose it, and what do you see the upside on both end of the spectrum. So like Ken was saying, like we met back 50 years ago. I met Ken through selling door to door on Quill, and that's my very first sales gig. And I got addicted to the commission part of it, just like you guys are. That's no different. Why make hourly when you can make so much more in commission? But then again, it's not for everybody. So I did sales for about 4 or 5 years, uh, and then I dabbled into some corporate America. And the most recent corporate America job that I had uh, was about 2 years ago, 2.5 years ago, and that was really made me realize my opportunity, like in terms of, man, I really can't settle for this corporate America stuff because it just wasn't paying out. So let me tell you, first of all, like a lot of people are aspired after college, say, you know what, I'm gonna get a college degree, I'm gonna get out there, I'm gonna get a fixed, stable income with benefits and all that stuff. And the reality is, when you graduate college, nobody cares about benefits. You're too young. You're not gonna die tomorrow. You don't have a pre-existing condition. So benefits is just another thing to entice you with. And I had to learn the hard way. And I realized, oh my goodness, this company's paying me 6 figures, whatnot. So I was living pretty good on my last corporate America job, and it took me almost 3 years to realize that I was just selling myself short or selling myself out. Uh, because with my old job, it was everything that a normal blue collar family would ask for, because they pay for. I mean, I have expense accounts, I have free access to stuff. There's the pay was good, it was 6 figures minimum. I had 2 paid vacations every year, international by the company. So if you think of it, it's the bells and whistles. They sell you good on this kind of stuff. And then I think on my 3rd year, I realized that I was on the road for about minimum 12 hours a day. I would leave the house at 6, come back at 6:30, and I have 2 kids. So I don't get to see my kids until I come back for about 2 hours and go to bed. So that's when I made the decision to realize, you know what, this is not working out for me. Yes, I'm making ends meet, I'm paying my bills, and on the outside it looks flashy. You know, I have a big title. I'm recognized in front of like hundreds of employees, but at the end of the day, it's like if they tell you to jump, you can't say, and I don't want to jump. You just have to say how high. So I think what really ate me up on the inside was the fulfillment piece. It wasn't money, it wasn't anything else. It was just I'm not fulfilled anymore because I feel like I'm missing out on another part of my family, which is see my kids grow. So it was a very tough decision at first, and then that's when I reached out to Ken. And even when I was in with the corporate America, I was always calling Ken every month, every other month, just check in, make sure there's new updates I need to know about. So I feel like part of me always reminisced and missed the sales aspect of CMC or AT&T for that matter. So it never really went away. So now, when the time was right, Ken told me, you know what, Pete, if you're ready now, now's the time to come back. So for me, it was easy. I took a 2 week paid vacation, and then went out with Andy. Andy, remember you took me out back again in the field in Chinatown. So yeah, everything came back. So within a week, I was able to, I don't know how many deals we did in a week, a bunch of deals, anyways. So I was realized, you know what, I can make so much more, and most importantly, control my time. And I think what sold me was not the money, but was the ability to control your time and do what you want at the pace that you want it, without somebody barking down your throat. So that was my selling point. And right after that, I put in my 2 weeks notice, and the rest is history. But the lesson I learned in this whole transition was knowing that you are worth so much more. Because with corporate America, I tried to get more raises. I was trying to do good, uh, but they always tell you, hey, there's no budget for it, and they always shoot you down because they already think that they're overpaying you. They're paying you so much money already. They think that they don't want to pay you anymore. That's what it is. So for me, it was very quickly I realized I was hitting the cap or the ceiling. The ceiling was very evident for me because I couldn't go any further. The next level up for me in my old job was to take my position of the VP, which you need a lot of qualification for it. You need a master's degree. You need 6 years in master. There's a bunch of stuff that you gotta go through to qualify for that position, which I was not even close to. So at the end of the day, it was about choosing which option was right for me, despite the immediate glamour behind corporate America jobs. So now that I've done both multiple times, going back and forth multiple times, I can clearly see for myself, I'm not going back to corporate America anytime soon or ever again, only because I realized that my worth, there's no one in the world is going to offer you what you truly deserve until you have really tapped into your own ability. You realize, you know what, this is what I'm worth. Like in CMC, we go out there, we do 4 or 5 sales a day. What is that worth? You do 4 sales, you make $1,000, and you divide that by, like, say, 3 hours. Like Dre was doing like 4 sales, back to back last week. If you divide it down, $1,000 divided by 3 hours or 4 hours, that's $250 an hour. You're entry level lawyer pay right there at that pace. So nobody should be telling you how much they want to pay you. You need to understand what you're worth in the field and really make that kind of money, because you prove it, you've done it before, you can do it again and again. But the biggest challenge with CMC is, and again, it's double-edged sword. I'm not saying one is better than the other. You have to pick what you can control and what you can influence better. There are times when you do 5 sales in a day and you don't go out, for us, it's like, damn, I've done 5 sales already. I don't have to work tomorrow. I'm going to the beach. It's 95 degrees in Malibu. I'm going to hang out in Malibu for a little bit. So this is the part that we really have to tame ourselves. It's a double-edged sword in the sense that we can make so much money, but at the same time, it can potentially make us lazy or take the foot off the gas, like we speak about a lot of times. So just understand what will work for you. If you're pursuing the stability, you will pursue the corporate America job. I challenge you, get good at the craft of what you do right now with CMC. Get good at selling, because it doesn't matter what position you take in the future, you have to deal with people. And what better training ground than what we have now? We're dealing with strangers every single day, converting 5 no's into a yes and get paid on it. That's a skill that other companies will pay you for. It's a skill that nobody can take away from you. So it's, for me, it's one of the best decisions I realize I've taken on, being able to control my own hours, being able to spend more time with my kids. I remember when I first came back from corporate America to CMC, I was taking my kids to school, and that's one of the things that was on my checklist. I want to make sure I can do that, and I did it, and the feeling is great because you see other people be pulling up a single, the mother pulls up, dropping kids off, the father's at work, but for me, so I was able to drop both my kids off with my wife in the same car, and people was like, "Damn, you don't work?" I'm just like, "Yeah, I do work, but not this early, or not today, or I can pick up later, or I can control my own time." So it's very satisfying when you have a family like that. You can provide your family and not so much neglect your personal aspect of your life. But money is always there. You know the money is always there. You've done it. You've done the sales. You've done multiple sales a day, and that's just the beginning. And once you have chartered a course that you can control, a time frame, working the 7 great habits, do everything you need to do, you'll be good to go. And you never have to look back and wonder, am I going to be successful in corporate America? Or am I going to be successful at my job that has been passed down from my family? You don't have to worry about that anymore because you already done it. You've done it through your own choice through CMC, and you'll prove it to yourself time and time again. And the hard part is keep on proving to yourself, you know? So there goes my story. This is why I chose it. And then you should make the decision for yourself why you should be here and find one strong reason to do it. And that's all you need because life's going to throw you 1,000 no's a day. You just need to find that one yes to push forward. And that's going to separate you and me from the rest of the pack, from 98% of the followers. Cool? So get out there, hustle hard, and make that money. Yeah,
Awesome.
buddy.
Thank you, Pete. Appreciate that.
All right.
Good stuff. So I'm gonna do somewhat of the opposite of what I guess I don't want this call to be like why CMC. I mean, originally I wanted to come on and tell everybody why Andy and I started the company and why I didn't continue to stay in corporate America or why I even started the business. But then as Pete is talking, I'm thinking I don't want to oversell the business, because the truth is the business is really hard, right? So let me just talk about that first before I go into why I chose it, right? Because I want to give you guys realistic perspective, so that way you guys know what you're dealing with. One of the things that I didn't like when I joined the sales organizations, which is a great sales organization, I think, and they're the best, the biggest, and the baddest right now, a company called Sitcore. And I still learn a ton from them. So I have my success, and I owe my ability to lead and sales and stuff like through that organization. So nothing but good things about them. But one thing I wish that they would do was to be honest with me up at the very beginning in terms of what obstacles and challenges I may face when I become an assistant manager and owner, and then later on they're promoting owner and all that, because I feel like it was somewhat misleading, right? At least from what I thought it was. Maybe I misinterpreted, I don't know, right? But just say it wasn't what I thought it was, and it was 3 years into it, and I was broke as crap, wondering what the heck, man, And I feel like I'm better. The biggest thing about that was I feel like I had an immense ability to lead and articulate. I was proud of myself, but financially, my pocket was still empty, and I was still at the same position 3 years from when I first started the company, right? But I was mentally rich, which was the most important thing. So let's talk about all the things that you must know in the business, for all your new leaders and all your future partners here, to get some clear expectations in terms of what really sucks about our business. All right. First, most painful thing about our business, what really sucks, you're gonna lose some people that you find dear to your heart. It's I laugh about it because it's something that you must learn to not so much accept, but at least embrace, you know, because, you know, there's some people that left the organization or the team. I think I've probably worked with, you know, I lost count, but I would think at least 500 people. I built, you know, rebuilt many of teams. You know, my business partner, Andy, he's like technically the last team I built is with him. But prior to that, you know, Steven started 17, that was 6 years ago. That was another team, right? And constantly as I'm building, I'm losing people, I'm building, I'm losing people, and it's frustrating. It's really frustrating. If you're a partner, you know what I'm talking about. Raise your hand if you know what I'm talking about. You know, it's very frustrating. It's frustrating because sometimes you feel, man, I put my heart and soul into, you know, my team. I worked so hard. I invested money, all the countless dinners and lunch. You know, all the. I thought we were boys. I thought we were girls. I thought we would go somewhere together. I thought we made a pact. You know, you know. And then all of a sudden, things are tough. We have a pandemic, and all of a sudden, like, they don't pick my phone call. What's going on? You know, what's going on? You know, and that's the most heartbreaking thing about the business. You know, so I think this business, what I really love about this business is that you will succeed only if you sincerely care about people. I truly believe that about the business, because what's more than just the money and the overrides and profit sharing, whatever you want to call it, is the people that last in our business are the people that truly care about those around them. And they care so much that it doesn't matter if their override, when they're down to 10% of what it used to be or whatever, they kept on going because they enjoy seeing people grow, right? So I think that's important. If you don't have that, it's not the business for you. I gotta be honest. If you're in here just to make money, get override, because, you know, the way Andy and I structure the business is the override is the best of anybody, any sales organizations that I came across. Again, that I came across, right? I intentionally structured it in a way where it's so sexy, that it's so lucrative, that, you know, your pocket will be very fat very fast if you just do half of the things that I think should have been done.
Woo!
You know, and if you guys have something better, you know, just hit me up on a one-on-one. I'll make sure that, you know, call me out on it, right? Because I designed this partner program in a way where it beats out everybody. It's definitely beat out Zipcore, definitely beat out other companies like Smart Circles and so forth. You know, and I'm proud of them, right? Because I want to make sure that you guys are out there that's working your butt off as a leader that most organizations don't pay. You guys are actually, as you're building your business, you're also getting compensated. And I think that's unlike any other organizations I've ever worked with before, and I worked with quite a few. I've been in this business over 15 years now. I've worked with 10 different organizations from small to big, so I know exactly what to look for, right? But first thing, I want you to understand this as leaders, guys. If you're in here just to make money and you think the money is good and the override is good, and that is your core why you're here, you should not be a leader. You should not try to be a partner. You should actually just sell. You can go out there today without, you know, investing time on this call. You know, an hour you can make $200-300, and you can just sell, save your money, and invest, and then that will be your route. Honestly, right? Because time is money. So if you're not serious about building a team and you don't really care about the benefit of someone growing, it's not going to work out. You're going to be very frustrated. You're going to quit, and before you know it, it's 2 years of your life when you can be fat in your pocket and investing it somewhere else. Number one, I gotta be real with you. That's true. Okay. Number two, this business have no seniority. It's all productions based. What does that mean? It's a good thing or a bad thing? The bad thing is that even when you are here, started with me since day one 4 years ago, if you're not doing the right thing, the way we designed the system is that if you don't put in the work, which means train your people, go out there, lead by example, and things like that, somebody that's coming up will surpass you, right? They will surpass you. So it doesn't matter how long you've been with the company. What matters is what are you doing today to set you up for the future. Does that make sense? So like Stephen, for example, he's very open and honest, and he's been sharing and being very genuine on the call, because he's brave and he's bold in the fact that he knows what works for him and what doesn't, right? So just to reference what Stephen said last week, he said that he was at one point doing great, and he let that success get into his head, where he stopped going to the field, and then he stopped really inspecting, I guess, even his people, because at one point Steven's organization was the biggest. He was doing 70 sales, and he had so much leaders that he was very on the top. So he thought that my team got it, right? And to for a period of time, his team did get it. And then when that was validated, you reward yourself with more and more vacations, and before you know, you're like, what happened, right? And then you got cats like Dre and other people start, creeping up and start outperforming Steven. But it doesn't mean that's not the end of the story. End of the day, it all depends on what you do now. And Steven right now is doing all the right things. In a matter of like 2-3 weeks, he already got to, man, I mean, I'm impressed by your ability to bounce back. That's the thing about you, Steven. You're very resilient, and you have the ability to motivate and inspire, because you're so driven. Like you inspire me just by talking to you, because you just move so fast, you think so fast. Even at 17, I just remember I feel so old talking to him, because when I'm trying to explain an objection, he already got it, and he's like, next, and we're trying to re-explain what worked and what not, and that never changed. I think you actually got even wiser, because now you have some wisdom behind you, in the sense that you made some success and some mistakes. So I think you're in the best position than ever to blow up, and your organization is reflecting that. So good job to that. So what am I saying, right? In terms of it's performance based. This a few months ago, I keep seeing this posts that keep on coming in like every time I'm online on Facebook or Instagram and stuff. I will see this post that says something like, success is like success is due daily, or success is Did anybody know what I'm talking about?
Success is rented, never owned, and then the rent is due daily. I think that's
Yeah.
there we go.
There you go, Gio. That's what I'm talking about, right? So I was seeing that. This is prior to the pandemic and all that. I keep seeing that. I was like, man, what the heck is he talking about? What are you talking about? I'm trying to build something where once you built it, it lasts, and you can like really reap your benefit of your labor, right? So it's almost like fighting with what I'm trying to do here, but it keep popping up. It keep popping up everywhere. It keeps saying, success is like rent. It's due daily. Success is due daily. I'm like, man, I think I get it, but I don't know, right? And then bam, it hits. When I start seeing like people that succeed and stuff start getting into their head, and they start kicking back, and then all of a sudden, bam, success is rented. It's due daily. It is so important, right? And I wanna like put that perspective in terms of me. Like, yes, we're considered by DirecTV the #1 dealer, 4 years in a row. Great, like we should be proud of that, right? But I think, we shouldn't have that inflate our head, thinking that, we're bad, we're this, that, and the other. The truth is, to be transparent with you, as the owner of the entire company, there's a ton of things we can improve on. A ton. And it's like we're nowhere near perfect, right? Like I see someone like big company like Sitcor that has, freaking 5,000 reps nationwide, have all this office everywhere, and I say, why can't we do that, right? And it's frustrating sometimes when we're not there yet, right? So, but what's really exciting about this is that, I always thought, if I was when I was in that organization, I always hear like these organization consultant, which is these guys that have like 30 offices. So 30 offices, which mean 30 offices that have 30 people. So you do the math, 30 times 30, you have like, how many is that?
You got like
900.
900 people,
How many?
900 people to 1,000 people in your org.
900 to 1,000 people that they manage, right? And these guys always talk about the good old days. You know, like when they first started knocking on doors and all that. I was like, man, I missed it, right? Because that's, you know, these guys are now freaking in the position they're at, and I feel always behind, right? Well, the cool thing about our organization is that we're at that stage where like we're gonna blow up, right? And the question is, who's gonna be in that group of people that's gonna like reflect back 5 years from now and say, you know, I mean, back in the days, you know, we did this, that, and the other, and then we're in front of a stage full of thousands of people, right? And we're celebrating our success, and we're looking back, and we just see a whole bunch of people that we influence in a positive way. Man, I envision that every day. You know, one of the things I've been doing since I got introduced to Tony Robbins and went to a seminar was this idea of meditating, clearing my mind so I can focus and channel the right energy every morning. And that's all I see. Every morning I see, you know, me 60 years old, right, on stage with my partners, my family, and I see a ton of people surrounding us, just grateful, blessed, because they provided for their family and they have a vehicle to get them to where they need to be, right? That's what inspires me. That lit me up, you know. So it doesn't matter if it's pandemic or not. I was still up doing what I need to do because that's why I do this. Does that make sense, guys? And if that's not what you want, you're in the wrong business. I don't want partners like that. I don't want leaders like that because it's fake. It's facade. The money will go away and then you won't last. So to save you time, just do something else. Just do sales, but don't do leadership because leadership is hard. You will have people quit on you. You know, the good thing is if you're a good leader and you do the right thing, they will come back and you don't have to worry about it. That's why the right people in this business, the right people that cares and lead correctly, you don't have nothing to worry about because all you have to do is add value. You know, you always hear that, add value. In other words, benefit people live in a way where when they look back, they're like, man, I remember Dre, and I remember that. It's freaking awesome. I remember that time we had team night. You know, the guy really cared, right? And then when they try to explore something else and they come back, you know, there's let me just collect my thought. You know, I think you guys understand what I'm talking about, but I really want to hit this home. You know, so like I mentioned to you, I've been in this business for 15 years, right? And throughout my journey, if you notice, Pete known me 15 years, Stefan about the same. If you don't know already, Stefan is actually my leader. He's the one that introduced me to sales since day one. Forever grateful, very, very indebted to him in terms of introducing me to sales, right? Steven is my cousin. I introduced him to sales at 17 when he was in a position where he needed a way out. And at the time, you know, at 17 with a kid on the way, it was very scary for him. And as you know, as my cousin, we had to put some sales under my name until he's old enough, even, right? Because he's not even 18 to even get a paycheck, right? So we had to work that out, right? You know, to Andy, you know, came to me since he was 14 and said, hey, you know, I see that Steven is doing well. What's up with me? I was like, well, you're definitely too young. I can't start you at 14. You know, why you come back to me when you're about 17? Let's be fair, at least 17, right? And then sure enough, this guy hit me up. It was crazy. I was like, dude, I wasn't BSing, but I didn't think he was gonna call me up on it, right? So here, 17, he came back, right, asking for sales and wondering what's going on with that. So when I first started this company, I was shocked and surprised by the friends and the people that actually came back because the opportunity was exciting. You know, Pete came back with Stefan, then we got Steven and so forth, and you guys are here because of those guys, right? Dre, I guess the lesson I learned there was that, you know, if you do the right thing in this business, if you truly care about people, regardless of where they go, either a few things are happening. Either A, you learned, let's say they don't come back. If your people don't come back, what you took from that is actually there. You will be blessed with the ability to be a better leader, right? Every experience, every person that you interact with, you get better. This business will make you better because you just, unless you decide to close a blind eye and not see and reflect back on what you can do better, it's designed for you to be better. There's no way around it because you deal with so many people, you deal with so many challenges that as you build your team, you're going to learn how to communicate better. You're going to learn different personality. You're going to learn what works, what doesn't work, and it's going to make you better as an entrepreneur. And every one of you guys on this call, you guys hunger and desire that. Yes? You guys all want to have your own business and want to have control over your own opportunity. Is that right?
Yes. Pinky goes up to that one.
Yes.
Yes, sir.
So the first thing is that, so look at every person that you have as an opportunity to get better yourself, right? So you never lose there. Two, when people decided to go elsewhere because they're like interested in other opportunity, let them. Let them, because just like it took Peter time to leave to see what's out there. You know, Pete left an organization. He worked at Forest Lawn, and they were paying 6 figures plus benefits and all that. And he realized that he was not happy. That he's actually he undersold himself, because not only was he not able to have time for his family, he also could not advance. You know, it would take him years to advance, right? And that's the same thing I feel when I was working at UPS. It was the same concept. It was like, dude, I was here 5 years. You know, from 5 years, I started at $18 and I got to 25, but it would take me 10 more years to be a hub manager to make 80,000. And, you know, I just could not accept that it's going to take me 10 years to make 80,000. I just can't do it. I'm just like, you know, I respect what you're doing, Scott. He was the hub manager at the time. You know, I talked to him because I was a lead supervisor at the time, and I was like, Scott, what does it take to be you? What did it take to be you? I mean, how long did it take? Tell me. I was hoping to be inspired. I was hoping to be inspired by the man, you know, because he was the top dog at the facility at the time, working at UPS. And he told me, Ken, if you do the right thing, you'll be like me. 10 years to be a hub manager. You know, yeah, sure, I work 12 hours, and sure, sometimes I had to work weekends, but man, all my friends, they make less than me and they look up to me. And I thought, that's great for you, right? 80,000, 12 hours, but I was like, man, I can't see myself working 12 hours and taking 10 years to get there. I'm sorry. So like that month I quit, you know, I was like, and I'm pretty sure he's probably shocked. He's like, what the freak? The guy come and ask what it takes to be me and then quit after a month. It's like, because it just didn't match up. I don't want that. What I want this company to be, and this is what I need you guys help with, is help me create a company where not only are you financially secured, right? You make the money you want, but here's the tricky part. Here's the part that's really challenging. That's why we keep changing every freaking few months, right? Flexibility. I want to create a company that not only can reward you financially, because I know that is already done, right? I see you guys check. I see how easy it is to make money, so I know that part is accomplished. But how can we create a structured company where flexibility is in the mix? You know, where we can work from the comfort of our own home, right? Where we can actually make 6 figures, but then have time for our kids. Now, how do we do that, right? How do we do that? That's what I'm looking to build with you guys, right? Because I don't want to build an organization like Silkworth Smart Circle where, yeah, you make the 6 figures and then you have the title, you have the prestige, but then you're technically still a slave, right? You still have to go train like outside deal, this, that, and the other, and then before you know it, you're working 12 hours still, and then your relationship with your loved ones is not there because you spend so much time building this business. Does that make sense?
Yep.
So that is my commitment to you guys. I'm looking to find, and I'm being honest, like I don't know what it looks like yet, but I know I will get it. I always get what I want. That's one thing about me is I always get what I want. I just don't know the right, I guess, equation yet. And I'm still figuring out the puzzle. But the vision I see is we make the money we want, but the flexibility of time and control, right? Control is big. And all the partners can call me out on my BS if this is not true. Do you guys feel like you have the freedom in this organization?
Yes.
100%. Yes. God bless America.
That is very big for me, right? Because in other companies I work with that are big, they say you have the opportunity and you have the control, but you do not. If the guy's like, look, I need you to open up in Tennessee, you're shipping your bag and you're moving out in 2 months, right? But you think it's your ideal. And then you're going, so you guys, obviously most of you guys on the call are leaders, so you guys don't know yet, but as partners, you'll see in terms of when we make decisions, it's like night at the round table. That's how I operate, right? I look at, I'm a little geeky and nerdy. I like watching Arthur and the Night at the Round Table. His ideal of like everybody sit on a circular table and everybody is equally positioned and everybody opinion matters. I believe that because that's what I want. When I was working at UPS, when I was working at Sitcor, and I was working at other company, I didn't have that, and I hated that with a passion. I hated that so much that I would rather start my own company to create that. And I actually lost a whole bunch of money to do so. I was, before I started the company, I was actually making, no joke, Andy can back me up on this one. I was making like 10 G's a week just doing sales. I was working 4 hours a day. And all I did was what you guys are doing, training people in the field. I work like 4 hours. I spend an hour for lunch, an hour maybe at night for a night recap and a dinner. And I was making great money. I woke up at 11 a.m. I'm that good. I'm not going to toot my own horn. I'm going to take credit when credit's due. I am that good when it comes to building a team and sales, right? So that was my income I left. And when I started a company with Andy, it was not the case. Like we were like barely trying to make sales just to support overhead. I think for like 6 months, we were like losing money. The only money I made was the money I generated my own sales. And it was all bad, right? Because when I left that organization, only a few people followed me. We had 30, I think maybe 6, Andy, maybe 7. I forgot who was it that was with us, but it was not many. So we had to build from somewhat the ground up, right? And that's where we're at right now for some of you guys. For some of you guys are frustrated because you're thinking, shoot, man, I was in a great position, great override, and all of a sudden after like this pandemic screw me. You can do 2 things, man. You can sit there and complain about the situation, or you can take that situation and say, screw it. I still control my opportunity. And by opportunity, I'm not talking about this. I'm talking about just your life, right? I'm talking about your situation. You control that. You have the choice, right? And you take that and you capitalize. And that's what Andy and I did. And that's why I'm so grateful for Andy. He is the best partner I could ever ask for. Man, and I thank you, Andy, because during this second, when we got out our pandemic, and then I could not go to the field and demonstrate the way I used to. You were out there and you made it happen with all the partners. I am so proud and so honored to work with you guys, right? Because man, I'm all about leading by example, and the fact that I can't do that, I feel like less of a leader, honestly. I feel like almost like a coward leader, right? When I'm asking you guys to go out there and work in this pandemic, and I'm over here not doing that. That's not what I like to operate by. It's just and this may sound like an excuse, but this is the reality of my life right now. I have people I'm accountable for, and when I can go out there. I can't even go out there anymore because every time I go out there, technicians won't get installed and so forth and so on. So I have to be realistic and say I can't be the front person like I want it to be, as fast as I want it to be. So anyway, all that was just to say thank you for being out there and demonstrating leading by example. I really appreciate that, right? Lastly, I want to talk about this. This is the most important thing that I'm trying to create in this organization. This is the most important, right? Regardless of what happened in the future, regardless of what happened in the future, the objective of this organization is to make sure that we leverage you for success, right? What I mean by that is, I want to make sure I provide a great environment where if you guys decide to go somewhere else, that we added value to you and teach you something about building a team and sales, mentorship, leadership, and all that. And at the very least, at least a good relationship. That's what it's about, because end of the day, I know you guys on the call, a handful of you guys can be very successful. And, to be honest, I would like to be your friends, when you guys make it, right? Because it's like the stock market, sometimes it hits, sometimes it doesn't. So I want to make sure that I'm surrounding myself with great people, and there's no other place that's better to find great people than commission only building team leadership business. Right? Did I know that taking Steven out when he was 17 somehow is gonna be my business partner in the future? No, I didn't know that. I just know this guy, he's my cousin, he needed help. Same thing with Andy. Did I know that he's gonna be my business partner now, owning the part of the company? I didn't know that. No, I just wanted to help him. Same thing with Pete. Pete started 6 months after me at Sipcore, and we were working. I was working Garden Grove at Quill, and I relocated to Texas to start up a new company with another owner. And Pete would call me up. I guess Stefan introduced Pete to me, and then I was working Garden Grove, so I know all the business owner. One thing about me, I have a great memory, so I know exactly who I signed up and stuff. Like for example, Queen Salon. That lady, I signed her up 4 years ago. Jennifer, Speedy,
Man, that lady, you gotta love her.
Yeah, that was crazy, right? So, long story short, Quill, it's not like a 2-year contract like DirecTV. Every 6 months, you can re-sign a customer up. So when Pete came in and I found out he was working Garden Grove, I called up Pete up and say, Pete, go to this business, go to that business, go to this business, right? And I was just giving him like leads and stuff of people I know is ready to get signed up again, right? So he can make money. Did I get a dime from Peter? No, I just wanted to help him. It just makes sense to me, right? I wanted to do well. And that's how our relationship was kind of created from there. Does that make sense, guys?
Yes, yep.
Sure.
So what is the takeaway from the stuff I talked about? I know it seems like I went over a lot. What do you guys take away from some of the things I talked about so far?
I want to say something. If they leave and they don't come back, it's your fault as a leader. But if you're doing the right things as a leader, I mean, the people will just go out there in the marketplace and realize there is no place like home.
I learned that you have to trust in the process. You definitely have to trust in the process and in your people.
Your resiliency, how resilient you are to become successful and make it happen.
Speedy, I believe this business is a character-built business. Your character will show you the determination of your leadership and who follows behind you. So if you don't have character and great leadership, don't expect to have a team.
I just had like a quote kind of repeating in my head when you're talking. Something that we used to say a lot, but people come in the business for a reason, a season, or a lifetime. So when you're bringing people on recruiting, it's okay to lose people. Some people are only here to learn a certain thing. Other people are going to be lifetime partners. You never know. So you have to give everyone your 100%.
Right, and all you guys are very sharp. Those are all the exact thing. I end with this thing is I end with this message. I guess the one that hit home to me the most is if you just try your best to add value to those people around you, like just what I mean by adding value is just help people out, teach them, give them your all. You just don't go wrong. Even at times where when I give her my all and I got burned, I benefit from it later on. It's like hindsight later on. It may take a year, it may take 10 years, but it always benefits. You can say it's karma. When you do good, you're gonna get good. Sometimes it just doesn't pay right away. Does that make sense? You know, like for example, like with Steven, and Steven may move on to different things. He's a very ambitious guy. I don't know, right? I don't know what Steven's future lies for him. But like when I was working with Steven at 17, and then he got really good, and then he did, you know, he decided to move on to Smart Circle. You know, a part of me was happy, a part of me was a little hurt, right? I was happy because I was like, wow, great organization. I think he's gonna learn a lot because he just doesn't see the structure that I was trying to create at the very beginning. And I know that company would give him the leadership and experience that he needs. And then when he starts to do well, I was like, damn, you know, what did I do wrong? Like, he's with me, he was good. You know, I got a team of 5, and all of a sudden he's blowing up with like 5, 10 offices and crap, you know, making more money than me. I was like, what the frick would I do wrong? You know? You know, I taught this dude, you know, he's my cousin. Why can't he work with me? Like, all this stuff's going through my head, right? And I was like, no, you know, that doesn't matter, right? End of the day, I did good. I helped my cousin out, you know, and then, you know, of course now Steven's with us, but that doesn't mean that he won't blow up in other things. And then we can, even if he decided to do that, the way I look at it is that we'll be rich together. And then when we become millionaires, let's say we decide to do a different industry, we can come together and we can dominate at a higher level. That's how I think. You know, right? That's how I think, and that's how I want to play the game. I want to get you guys good so we can compete. Right? You know, that's how I think the world should be. It's like levitate you guys to the level where we can play, and then we brawl together, man. You know, I'm a competitive person, right? And that's how I like to do things, right? So sometimes, if you guys don't know me, if you're my friend, you know I talk a lot of smack, right? It's just that, you know, when I'm in front of you guys, I've learned to tame that down because it comes off like very arrogant sometimes, right? Gio, you know what I'm talking about. You know, so, but it's honestly, honestly, I want the best for you guys, and nothing I want more than you guys to succeed so we can compete at a higher level. Does that make sense?
Yes, Ken, that's awesome. I'm gonna put your words in my pocket, and I will never forget them.
Yeah, man, we are a kindred spirit, man. You have no idea how much I identify with you. But sometimes though, it sounds like I don't, because it's the some mistakes I've made. I was just trying to protect you from not making, but you know, that never stopped me from making them. So it is what it is. Just bounce back quick. All right. So that's all I got. You know, I want to bring up Steven because this is important. This is what the business is all about. You know, Steven has done a tremendous job, and in the past 3 weeks, I think his team just like tripled. But that's not what's important. What's important is that we have people like Carlos and Edgar and Sebastian and Vivian and other people that's like making money and learning and growing as individuals. If that continue to happen, it's inevitable that Steven will be financially rewarded. Does that make sense? And that his team will be stronger than ever and keep on multiplying. So if you want to simplify this whole business, it's just focus on making people better. At the same time, making yourself better. That's what it's all about. Does that make sense, guys?
Yes, it does.
All right. So
Yes,
Steven, please close us up. Who do you got? Who do you want to talk about?
All right, so thank you guys for letting me jump on as the special guys come in. But guys, I want to identify one person. This individual has a language of a champion, meaning what she speaks about. You guys hear it. It's a girl, right? It's probably our only female representative that's growing our business right now, and that's amazing. We're trying to get more of that, women power, right? So the crazy part about it is this woman, this lady, she didn't have no training. She's zero training at all. Like, but her language is always good, and how she speaks is always so positive. I'm like, hey, you know, I'm gonna fly over there, I'm gonna train you. She says, well, you know, I'm gonna fly over there, and you know, I'm gonna get trained by you. So she's investing. She's not asking me for no money. She's like, I'm flying over there to get trained by you. And because the pandemic happened, She was like, everything's closed. What am I supposed to do? I said, you know what? I'm gonna fly over there because everything is opening up. So she canceled her trip and she said, you know what? I cannot wait 2 weeks to get trained by you. I need to make some money fast. I'm getting all this money from the government, but I'm trying to double up. You heard that a lot, triple up. So
Double up.
Yep. So she's like, hey, how about you go on the phone with me and I go close these customers? It should be easy. I know how to talk to people. I said, I don't know. So she went to the store and she did some mistakes. She did 0 installs for the first week. And she was like, I'm busting my butt out here. But, I got this. What do you think I should do better? So it's always so positive. An individual that challenges themselves, being positive, with no training, is now getting promoted today to a leader. And that's amazing because her first week she did 4, but 0 got verified. Her confidence was shot down, but what she spoke about was always so positive. She said, oh yeah, I didn't get none. It's okay. Next week I'll try harder. I got you. Thank you for the opportunity. Everything she says, thank you for the opportunity. And I'm like, what the hell? This girl's about to quit tomorrow. So the cool thing about it, she persevered. She's resilient. She came back. She asked more questions. She's still very positive. She got an individual on her team. He made his first install this week. So that's amazing. That's pretty awesome. And this person is Vivian Rodriguez. Her real name is Vivian Rodriguez. Just want to let you guys know. But yes. So, Vivian, do you have anything to say? Congratulations again. Hooray, guys.
Thank you so much, guys, for the opportunity. Thank you, Ken. Thank you, Steven. All I want to say is, like he said, I had no training, but, I have the ambition, I have the hunger to go out there and get it. And I know anything I put my mind into, I could accomplish. This is not rocket science. It's all, I have what we call an offensive mindset, meaning I take control. I control my day. I control, my outcome. The pandemic, not having any training is not an excuse. There's always a way. There's always a solution to everything. And if the business was easy, everybody will be in a leadership. Everybody will be a leader, but the business is not easy, and being an entrepreneur is not easy, and I understand that. And it's just part of the process, just trusting the process. It's gonna get really hard before it gets, you get to that point where you're on top. So there's gonna be a lot of obstacles. There's gonna be a lot of, times where you're gonna want to quit. But if you quit, you're giving up on yourself. And that's something that I'm not willing to do. I'm not willing to give up on myself. And this business right here is like a vehicle. I see longevity. I see a lot of opportunity. I see a lot of growth. And like Steven said, yeah, my first week I didn't make money, but it's not about the money. It's about the longevity, the growth that I will make with this business. And at the end of the day, like I said, guys, we control our outcome. If I failed or if I didn't do as well the first week, it's because there's something I need to fix. I need a network. And every day, I'm looking to make myself a better person, make my team a better team. That's pretty much what really helped me to get to this point of leadership. And this business, basically, it's like what we say in stocks. We're at the squeeze, and it's gonna blow up. So we're investing right at the right time, and then it's gonna blow up. So that's all I have for you guys. Thank you so much.
That was fire. Cool.
So like I said, I'm very competitive. I know Vivian's too. Just, I think she's gonna kick some people's ass, some people's butt for sure, because she's gonna start building her team next week. We're gonna start recruiting for her in Miami. So, it'll be nothing more that I want from a month from now when we go visit Miami. Vivian got a whole crew, right, kicking butt, and we got some woman power here in the house. Congratulations, Vivian.
Thanks, guys. Thank you.
Nice work, Vivian. Nice work.
All right, Andy, would you like to close the meeting, or are we good?
Hey, I think Speedy's promoting somebody today.
Oh,
Is that what I heard?
Oh yeah, I forgot about that. But we can do it on the rep call tomorrow. If you guys like. We got Big Eddie back here. He got promoted last Friday. knocked out his 8 in 2 weeks. So welcome to the leadership, baby.
Thank you, guys. Glad to be here. Thank you, guys.
Good job.
We'll have a formal one tomorrow for you guys.
Awesome. Sounds good. Looking forward to hearing from you, Eddie. Good job.
Yeah, I have nothing to echo. You guys had a great call today. Good job, Vivian. Good job, Pete, Ken, on the call. We'll see you guys tomorrow on the rep call tomorrow.
All right,
Hey,
team. See you
guys,
tomorrow.
talk to you guys later.
Adios. Take care.